Hello everyone, greetings from Wonderchef and congratulations on your purchase of your very own kitchen robot. I'm Romita and I will take you through the demonstration of Chef Magic so that you can use it most efficiently. As you can see, it's a very compact device. It's a tabletop device, takes very little place in your kitchen. Now, if you have already unboxed the machine, you will realize that the machine is in two parts. There is a base and there is this jar. So let's first begin with registering ourselves, and you will notice that on the screen of your device, you will find a sticker. A transparent sticker with a QR code. Scan this QR code, and once you scan the QR code, you will be led to Wonderchef's page where you can register yourself as a Chef Magic customer. Then we will move ahead, and let me first explain you the base of the machine. As you see, everything that you see in black, which is very elegant looking machine, or is a plastic, but it is very high quality ABS plastic, which is non-toxic, which is food grade. But most importantly, it's an electronic device, and this is shock proof, and also because we are going to be doing the cooking and the steel jar will get very hot, this is heat proof. So whenever you are going to touch the jar while cooking, whether it's the handle or the side portions, you will be completely safe as it is heat proof. Now, there is a screen here. The screen is 7-inch screen. If you see, most mobile phones have a 7-inch screen, and much like a smartphone, you can use this machine. Anybody who uses smartphone can use Chef Magic. It's that easy to operate. And also, the base is very easy to clean. We just take a damp cloth and wipe it off. Now coming to the jar is made of stainless steel, but it's not ordinary steel. It is 304 grade of steel. They're not going to rust. It is very strong, sturdy, non-toxic, and it is also food grade quality, but most importantly, it's non-porous. When the steel is non-porous, after you have cleaned the jar, there will be no residual smell of the food that is left in the jar. This is the transparent lid, and you can see it allows you to see whatever is being cooked inside the machine at any point of time. And this machine has one detachable component, which is the measuring cup. This cup has measurements 10 ml, 50 ml and 100 ml. So during the cooking, if you have to add any liquid ingredients, you can weigh it with the help of the measuring cup and add to the jar. From time to time, the machine will guide you. So if the measuring cup has to be removed, the recipe will say, remove the measuring cup. If it has to be placed loosely, now I've loosely placed it. See, just I'm turning the jar and the cup comes out. So then the machine will direct you to place it loosely, or it would just say secure the lid. When the machine says secure the lid, this cup is the integral part of the lid and you have to use the lid along with the cup. So that apart, now the jar has a capacity of 4.5 kg in totality, but the food that you can cook in it is 3 kg. 1.5 kg is the space that is needed for the food to expand, for the hot air and for movement. So, and there are markings both on the inside and also on the outside of the jar, which tells you the maximum quantity of food that can be cooked in this jar. If you have a blade which is already attached into your jar, this is the very sharp blade, it is the multifunction blade, please hold it from the top, press it down and move it clockwise, it will get detached. Remove it, keep it aside, and I will show you the inside of the jar. The blade goes on the coupler. There is a screw-like attachment which is called coupler. Now I will hold this coupler and I will flip the jar upside down. You see, if I am rotating the coupler with my hand, this screw rotates. So I am holding this coupler very well. And then there is a groove to place my 2 fingers. There is a lock, and there is a lock mark, and there is an unlock sign. So from lock to unlock, I will twist this collet. The moment I twist this collet, very easily it gets detached. And the collet, once it's detached, you can even remove the coupler out. Now you see there is a hole in the jar. This makes cleaning of the jar very, very effective and very easy. Generally, when we use a mixer grinder or a food processor, all the muck and the dirt that gets collected is between this coupler and the blade, and which is very difficult to remove. And sometimes it's a mission in itself to do the cleaning for that. But with Chef Magic, cleaning becomes easy because at any given point of time, you can detach the coupler and the jar can be put in the dishwasher. All the components of the jar are dishwasher safe. But I must mention that you don't have to scrub and clean the jar. The cleaning function is there in the machine. The machine will tell you how much water to add, how much detergent to add. And once you finish the cleaning, you can just rinse this whole jar along with all its components under the tap, or you can otherwise put it in the dishwasher, and everything that is related to the jar is dishwasher safe. Now if you see, there are these 5 pins. This is where the jar will get its heat. The base is the induction base, and this is where it will get its heat from. I will place the jar back, but before that, I will attach the coupler. And while I'm talking to you, all I'm doing is putting the coupler here and rotating it just for it to find its groove. The coupler has now set itself in its groove. And now I'll again flip the jar. I will take the lock because this coupler needs to be locked. And this time I will place this lock on the unlock position where I see a sign which says unlock. And I'll with my 2 fingers again twist it to the lock position. And this makes the coupler, now the coupler is completely fixed. I'll place the jar in its socket. Here the jar is. And that's how all the blades will go on the coupler. Any blades that we will use. We'll come to the blades. But it would be worthwhile if we can do a recipe together so that I can explain you the machine. We have plugged in the power cord at the base of your machine at the back. You can slide 4 fingers in and you will find a switch. Just flip the switch to the right. After switching it on, within seconds, you will see the Wonderchef logo on the screen. And now you see the home page. The machine will give you a prompt to connect to the Wi-Fi. We can do so, or we can just say cancel for now. We will eventually connect to the Wi-Fi. But you see there are 6 tiles on the home page. The first and foremost, we see the history. History will have all the recipes that you have cooked in the past week or so. That will be reflected there. And if you want to recook it, you just simply go to history and you will find it there. If there is a recipe which you like very much, which becomes your favorite, and you're likely to cook it very often, or it's your regular dal, rice, or gehu ka atta, or whichever dough you regularly eat, and you are likely to cook it more often, you can put it in my favorites. Now, before we proceed ahead, we will connect the machine to the Wi-Fi. Though Wi-Fi is not needed to use the cloud recipes. If your internet is down, if your server is not working and you can't connect to the Wi-Fi, you can still cook recipes from the cloud in your Chef Magic. Wi-Fi is needed when you want to connect your phone to the machine so that it can be used as a remote. That is the time you will need Wi-Fi. And the second time that you will need Wi-Fi is whenever you want to save a new recipe that has been uploaded. So when you want to connect the phone to the machine for the first time, the phone and the machine both need to be on the same Wi-Fi. Next time onwards, the phone can be on any other Wi-Fi. Your machine could be on the home Wi-Fi. It doesn't matter. But for the first time, they need to be on the same Wi-Fi. I will go to connect my Wi-Fi. Here, I find my Wi-Fi here and it's connected now. Now my machine is connected to this Wi-Fi. So when you want to download the app, either you go to the resource link that was shared with you on the email that was sent to you. If you click on the resource link, all the resources will open up, which also has a link embedded in it to download the app that is needed to connect your phone to the machine. But just in case you are not able to do that, you can also go to the respective app store and then search for Wonderchef app. And then once you download the app, we will be able to link our app to the machine. My app is already downloaded to my phone. Once the app is installed on your phone, like any other app, you will have to create an account by signing up. So sign up with your email ID. Once you finish that, we'll go to link my app. When I go to link my app, now go and open your app. I will also do that on my phone. Once I open the app, I get an option, add device. I will go and press an add device. On the machine, I will go in setup again and I will go to link my app and a QR code will appear. I will scan the QR code. Then on my app, my device is connected to the phone. If I use the back button and go back, I'll go to the home page. Now that I'm on the home page, my home page on the device and on my mobile app is absolutely same. My app is connected here and we will for the time being keep it aside. And now we go into cloud recipes. Cloud recipes, you will see 200 plus recipes are already there in your Chef Magic. These recipes are by none other than a very famous chef, Mr. Sanjeev Kapoor ji. And his recipes, as his name suggests, would turn out perfect. They will turn out delicious and you would love to cook as many of them as you would can. So the recipes, the 200 plus recipes that are there are all put in different categories. They are slotted in different categories. So all the dals you will find under the dal section. All the doughs, which includes your gehu ka atta roast that you may need every day, or your millet doughs, or the doughs to make bread, cookies, or for that matter, for bhaturas and naans, all you will find it in the dough section. There are international recipes, there are vegan recipes, there are Jain recipes, all pastas, all of them. To these categories, we have also added 3 very important categories, which are gut-friendly, heart-friendly and diabetic-friendly recipes. So any family member, if there is a need, can make these recipes and they are made by the respective nutritionists who have worked with the doctors in this field for a long time and have a great deal of experience in curating this kind of recipes. So do make use of them in case that's your need. Now, if of course, these are the categories, but sometimes we may want to make something which doesn't have a separate category of its own. Like today, I have thought of paneer burji and there's no separate category for paneer. Never mind. There is a search bar here and I will go and click on the search bar and the keypad will open up and here I will type paneer. So the spelling here I'm using is PANEER and I will search all the recipes that have paneer in it, including desserts, will open up. I will scroll down and then I will go to paneer burji. I'll click on paneer burji. The moment I click on it, a page will open up. There's a photograph of the recipe. There's a description what paneer burji is, the cooking time that it needs, the serving portion that it needs, much like you see in a recipe book. Then there is the ingredient list. All the ingredients and whatever quantity you will need is there. And below then there are steps. What are the steps that are going to be done to cook the paneer burji? Now this is a 10-minute recipe or 12-minute at the most. But there could be a recipe which takes about 1.5 hour cooking time. Then if you look at the steps, you will realize that this is the place where I get 40 minutes free and I get 20 minutes slot here and 10 minutes slot there. You don't have to stand next to the machine. The machine will do its job of cooking. These are the slots that you will get free and you can use them as per your convenience, either to finish some work or just to rest and relax and spend time with family and friends. So Chef Magic in this way gives you ample of freedom, and not only it saves you effort and labor, but it also gives you a lot of time which can be utilized very effectively and conveniently. Now, when it comes to ingredients, you may have some and you may not have other ingredients, or you may have no ingredient whatsoever for that recipe. Now, you don't have to sit and write it down. You don't have to type it on your phone and make a list. You simply have to go to the square icon with the arrow on the top and click on that. A QR code will appear. Now go to the app. The ingredient list will appear on the phone. From there, you can share the ingredient list through WhatsApp, through messages, or through Gmail, either to yourself or to anybody else who will source those ingredients for you. Now, next to the square icon, there is a heart icon. If I click on the heart icon, it turns red. That is how my recipe will go into my favorites. If I want to remove from my favorites, I will again click on the heart icon. It will lose its color and the recipe goes back into my favorite. Above, I see a link. The link tells me that my device is connected to the phone. And of course, there is the Wi-Fi signal which tells me that my machine is right now connected to the Wi-Fi. Now, cooking in Chef Magic is very, very easy. It's just a 3-step process. Select the recipe, gather all the ingredients that are needed, and then press run. Normally, when we are running a computer also, we are the ones who are giving the instructions to any device. But this is a pre-programmed, preset cooking device, a robotic cooking device, and it will tell you everything that needs to be done. So if you do not know cooking at all, you can still make very good food, akin to what chef himself makes, or somebody in your house who is a very good cook. If they cook with Chef Magic. And if you are not a good cook, you cook with Chef Magic, the food will be at par. You would cook like a chef. So now we begin cooking. We'll go to run. We press run. A dialog box opens up and the machine gives you the tips. It says attach the multifunction blade. So here I'm not using any of my thought process. I'm just following the machine. This is the multifunction blade. Hold it from the top. How do you attach the blade? Press it down and then twist it anti-clockwise. And the blade has been fixed. How do I know the blade has been fixed? If I lift it with the blade, the jar comes up. The blade is here, now properly fixed. Now the machine is telling me add 160 grams of onion. But how do I add? I don't know what is 160 gram. So I will tear. When I press on tear, the machine calibrates to 0. Remember, we can weigh from 1 gram up to 5 kgs in Chef Magic. So I will add my onions to it. The machine will take the weight of the onions. Now I want to add tomatoes. How will I do that? I don't need to remove the onions. Let the onions sit in the jar. I will simply go and tear it again. The machine will again recalibrate to 0 and this time I will weigh my tomatoes. This way I can separately weigh each ingredient without even removing the other ingredients from the jar. Now it says add 1 inch ginger. I add all the ingredients and then I can't see further. So I will scroll the dialog box up and the further instruction appears. Secure the lid. So I'll take this lid and the lid has markings, lock and unlock, just like a cooker, and it has a gasket. So I will place it diagonally. I will gently press the lid so that it fits on it. Then I'll press this 2 sides and rotate the lid and you see the lid has got locked now. I will press OK. The machine will finish chopping the onions and tomatoes in 20 seconds. The whole onion and whole tomato. We have not chopped it. We have not cut it. I am here skipping this function. And now the dialog box opens up. It tells me that scrape the sides and bring all the ingredients. Now remember you have done the chopping. Everything is stuck on the sides of the jar. I will use this silicone spatula which is provided with the machine to scrape the sides and bring together the food closer to the blade. And then it says secure the lid and remove the measuring cup. So again, the machine is instructing me to do and I'm doing accordingly. I'm removing this measuring cup and keeping it aside. And then I press OK. Now my machine has gone on to the next step automatically, which is step 4. The machine has started cooking. You see the screen is divided in 2 parts. The blue section tells me step number 4, now. This is what the machine is doing now. It is telling me the time, in real time, how much time is left for the cooking to happen. Below there is the speed of the blade. The blade, when we are cooking something, the saute function is happening. The food is being moved. And right now it is being moved at speed 1. Because when we are also cooking onion and tomato, we are not moving it continuously. We stir it, we saute it, and then we start doing something else, then we saute it again. So this speed is good enough. The speed variations that are available to us are from 1 to 10. Suppose you are making a sheera or gajar ka halwa. Once you add water, you would stir it very fast. That time the speed of the blade would vary. Now there is power function. Power, you will see the sign of a flame there. It's akin to the flame or akin to the heat that your jar will receive. And that also is available in the range of 1 to 10. For a ease of understanding, not literally, but only for the ease of understanding, 1 and 2 is very, very sim. 3 and 4 is sim. 5 and 6 is medium. 7 and 8 is high, and 9 and 10 is very high. We could just approximate it like that. But when we are reducing the power, what we're actually doing is providing less heat to the container. Or if we increase the power, we are giving more heat to the container in which the food is being cooked. But here it's an automatic cooking device, and we have both the variables available separately. So you see, temperature is separate and power is separate. What it allows me to do is that I can keep the temperature high and keep the power low if that is the need of my recipe, or other way around, power high and the temperature low. That is also a possibility because this is an electronic device and these two variables are separately available to us. Now I will show you how mobile app works in real time. So I have started this. If I open my mobile app, it says cooking paneer burji. I click on it. My machine here and my mobile screen both are the same. From here, I'll go to my mobile phone. I will tap on speed and I will change the speed of the blade and I will say OK. Now the speed here has also changed on my machine. You can hear the sound. I am reducing the speed on my machine. It has become 1. It becomes 1 on my phone as well. Similarly with the power, it to 8 on my machine. It has reduced on my phone, and I can go to my phone, I'll tap it here and again make it 10. If I want to pause, I will simply press on this pause button and the machine will pause. If I want to quit the recipe, I will go on the clear button. It will say, do you want to stop the program? I will say no. So anytime I want to quit the recipe, I can do that. Now I am playing it again and the machine will start again. So you see, the control by the mobile app is in real time. The moment you make a change here, it is reflected in the machine. And you can be wherever. You can be in your living room, you can be in your office, you could be in the market shopping, or for that matter, you can be in another city. As long as your phone is connected to the machine and there is someone at home to put the ingredients, you can do cooking with the Chef Magic from wherever you are. Also, the scale is all the time available to you here. Now the other half of the screen is in white and it shows me the next step. It is saying 5 out of 11. So the next step will be the 5th step. There are total 11 number of steps and then there are arrows below. What if I want to see the recipe? What are the steps that are going to be next? I have forgotten when will I get that 40 minutes window. I can simply click on these arrows and see the steps which are going to be done later. Or if I want to see the steps which I have already done, I have the back button here. At the back arrow, I will click on that and I can see the steps that are already completed. Similarly, if I want to see the ingredient list at any given point of time, there is a small icon next to the arrows. I will click on that and the ingredient list will appear. So much like a recipe book where the recipe is available to you all the time and whenever, you can access your recipe on Chef Magic as well. And now, once the Chef Magic finishes this cooking, it is telling me to add all the masalas. Now, normally when we are adding the masalas, we may be using a spoon, but we rarely measure them. And that's why even if you are a very good cook, you will see that sometimes when we are cooking at home, we say, "Arey, aaj mirchi zyada ho gayi hai, namak zyada ho gaya hai." Or sometimes we feel that the gravy is thinner or thicker. Now here it is the automatic cooking device. It will do its work very, very perfectly. Now it's upon us to weigh the ingredients perfectly so that the recipe turns out perfect. And that's why Chef Magic provides this tablespoon and the teaspoon set. This is the teaspoon, half a teaspoon and 1/4 teaspoon. Using this, you can measure the ingredients and you can add from the hole in the lid. You do not need to open the lid for this purpose. After I add all the ingredients, I will press OK. The machine will now go to the next step. And while it is doing the next step, I will tell you the usage of these baskets. These are trays. They are called the steaming trays. This is the bigger tray which has more depth, and the bigger tray has a circular opening which is perforated. There are these holes here. And this bigger tray sits on the lid of your Chef Magic and it sits perfectly well. Now, if you're making soup and you want to make some steamed vegetables rather, you can put it in this. And now I also want to steam some momos at the same time. So I will take this other tray, which is a little shallower. I will place it on this tray. And once I place it here, I'll place my momos here and then I will cover it with this lid. So while the soup is getting made, my vegetables are getting steamed and my momos are also getting steamed. This way, Chef Magic can perform many functions at the same time. You see, suppose I am making sambar, make idlis in these two trays. I can take small katoris, that is how idlis were made in the olden days, from my house, and I can grease them, add the idli batter to them and place them in these baskets. So even while the sambar is getting made, the idlis can also be simultaneously cooked, which will again help you save your time and effort. The machine is telling you to add 40 grams of water. You can either measure it with this or you can tear and pour the water directly from any other container and measure it in the machine itself. After adding the water, I will press OK. The machine will go to its next step. In the meantime, I will explain you all about the blade. The multifunction blade, as you see, it can do everything: chopping, sauteing, stirring, everything, mixing, blending, grinding, mincing and crushing ice, etc. But only thing it doesn't do is kneading for you. It will not make the atta for you. Also, if you want to do sauteing or stirring for a very long time, like if it's gajar ka halwa, or you are making mutton rogan josh, or some other recipe like kheer, which needs a lot of sauteing or stirring, then this is the blade, this 2-arm blade which you are going to use. The 2-arm blade will scrape everything from the base of the jar and move it and keep moving it continuously, just much like what you do with this spatula manually. That's the function the blade will be doing it for you in Chef Magic. But again, this blade cannot be used for kneading. So what would be the kneading blade? The kneading blade would be this blade. This is the 1-arm blade. It is used for kneading. And it will knead all kind of doughs for you very effectively, and you can immediately start making your rotis. And of course, the rotis have to be made on the griddle or a tawa outside. This is the butterfly whisk that is used. And this whisk is also used for all kind of whipping and whisking functions. If you want to whip eggs, suppose aapko ande feetne hain, makhan nikalna hai, you want to churn butter, you want to make cold coffees or frappes, this is the whisk that can be used. And this whisk is always used along with the multifunction blade. The machine will tell you that each time. The recipe will guide you to use it with the multifunction blade, but it is never used separately. It will never sit on the coupler by itself. It is used with the multifunction blade. At the base of the whisk, there is silicon, and this silicon will lift everything from the base of the jar so that the whipping and the whisking is done evenly. Sometimes it may happen that even if the food is not burnt, if you're making something with milk, milk has the tendency to get stuck to the bottom. Or if you have churned butter, then definitely you may want to clean the jar more thoroughly but you don't have to sit and scrub it. There is this blade, which is the scrubber blade. This has 2 steel wool scrubbers. It goes and sits on the coupler directly, much like the other blades. And then you can use it to do the scrubbing. And it will scrub the base very clean. And then you can definitely put it under the tap or put it in the dishwasher. So this is all about the accessories. And in the meantime, the 2 minutes are over. The machine is now guiding me to say add crumbled paneer, which I can add to the recipe. Once we press OK, the machine does its cooking for 1 minute. After 1 minute, the machine will tell you, remove the paneer burji, add to the serving bowl, garnish it with coriander. You say OK, and the machine says cooking finished. So for someone who has not cooked ever in their life, they would not know whether cooking is finished or not. So the machine takes care and informs you about that also. So this is how you run a recipe in Chef Magic. All the cloud recipes, as you have already seen, are self-explanatory. They are pre-programmed. They tell you what needs to be done. You don't need to have any knowledge. But having knowledge of cooking is handy and helpful. And in case you want to interfere somewhere, you saw that even in this pre-programmed recipes, we can interfere. We can change the time. We can change the other parameters. We have done that. And you see, so even though it's an automatic machine, you are not doomed to eat what it cooks. It's not that, okay, now it is an automatic machine. I cannot make any changes whatsoever. I have to cook whatever the machine has made. No, I have full control. I can skip some masalas which I don't like to eat or my family doesn't like to eat. Suppose when Sanjeev ji made potatoes, the potatoes were soft and they got cooked in 10 minutes time, and your recipe says 10 minutes, but when you are cooking, your potatoes are a different variety. They are a bit harder and they are taking more time to cook. You can always increase the time. Suppose your potatoes are cooked earlier than the recipe, you can always skip and go to the next step. Or the cooking is already, you are towards the end of the cooking, you can just skip. So all those control and facilities are there in Chef Magic. You can make the recipes from the cloud, but you may also want to make your own recipes in Chef Magic, something which your family likes, which is peculiar to your family, and you would want that taste also to be achieved through Chef Magic. Can that be done? Of course. For that, we have DIY. If I click on DIY, you will see that the same 4 variables, time, speed, temperature, and power are available to me. And using this, I can cook my own recipe in Chef Magic. Now, when my recipe is being cooked in Chef Magic, this is the place where I will explore, where I will experiment. And sometimes the recipe may turn out perfect in the first go, or sometimes it may take a few trial and errors before your recipe turns out perfect. Because you see, the recipe has to be adapted to the machine cooking, which even the chef had to do himself. So how do you do that? My suggestion to every customer is that make few recipes from the cloud before you try the DIY function. At least make two types of dals, 2 types of rice, 2 types of doughs, few types of vegetables, and a couple of desserts. And while you are making these things, observe the machine very intentionally. Just see that what is the speed of the blade, what is the power, what is the temperature, what is the time, how is the machine handling this food. And then there is Simple Chef. Simple Chef has 18 simple basic cooking functions, just as the name suggests. Every kitchen has the use of these functions. Not necessary that we want to run a recipe all the time. We may just want to do chopping, or maybe boiling, or steaming, or sauteing by itself. No other function. In such a scenario, Simple Chef will come handy. All the Simple Chef functions are pre-programmed and they are preset functions. So you do not have to actually engage with the machine in a way that how do I operate this? The machine is going to do its job. All you need to do is run that function. First and foremost, you will find the cleaning function. Cleaning function is something which you will repeatedly need, because after every cooking, you will need to clean the jar. And then there is smoothie making. There are quick soups, chopping, sauteing, stirring, kneading, steaming. There is thick soups, congee, porridge, risotto making. Risotto making is similar to making khichdi. You can make your khichdi, your porridges, your dalia, which you can make in this. Or then you also have fresh recovery, which is a very wonderful function. Fresh recovery allows you to clean your vegetables, your fruits, or even your meats before you are cooking it. And how can you do that? So you will go into Simple Chef, you will start fresh recovery, and then you will put the vegetables that you need in this basket. This is a dual purpose basket. It is also a steaming basket. It is also can be used as a strainer. So you will put your vegetables or your meat in this basket, and this basket has a notch. We have a silicon spatula. Of course, this spatula is used to move the food, but the base of the spatula has a groove. We will slide the spatula into this basket and we will attach the groove to the notch, and then we will tilt it, and then we will put it in the jar. Mind you, the jar will become very, very hot. It's steel after all, and you cannot touch the steel part with bare hands. So this will come handy. You can use it to slide the basket inside, and whenever you want to remove the basket, you again put the spatula in, tilt it, and then remove it. So this way you can wash your vegetables before cooking them. Now there is a reheat function. If you just want to reheat some food, that possibility is also here. There is yogurt making. Yogurt is very dependent on the temperature outside. Sometimes it turns sour, sometimes it doesn't set, sometimes it is not properly done. Now if you want yogurt to be made very properly, Chef Magic can come in very handy. You just have to operate this function. Add as much milk as you want in the jar. Add the culture as per your understanding of how much culture you need. And the machine will keep the milk. It will boil it, keep it at an appropriate temperature, and it will take 8 hours for the yogurt to set. After 8 hours, the machine will go on standby. So the machine can continuously run for 12 hours. And so if you have set the yogurt in the night before sleeping, by morning you will find that the yogurt is well set and ready to use. Or vice versa, if you have set it in the morning, you will find it ready after 8 hours by evening. There is one very interesting function called warm. When you have cooked something, say you have cooked some dish for dinner, or you have cooked it around 5 o'clock and you may be wanting to use it around 8 or 9. Now for this 2-3 hours, you can put the dish on warm. There is a warm function here. Now the machine will keep the dish at an optimum temperature. So it will be hot enough to be served, but there will be no cooking happening, so the texture and the taste of the dish won't change. At the same time, there will be no bacterial activity happening. If need be, do refer to the manual. This manual has been provided to you. It's very good quality manual and very detailed. Much effort has been gone in making this. And when you refer to the manual simultaneously, you will understand the machine and its functioning better. Once you understand and you become familiar with the machine, it will become very easy for you to do the DIY and use that option with much more ease compared to if you just try it out as first option with the machine. Also, when we use a smartphone, if there is a new feature added to it, or suppose I am an Android user and I moved to a iOS software, the other way around, I will have to spend some time to understand that particular software, that particular application or the feature. Similarly, this machine is completely new, very unique. It's not your regular mixer grinder or a washing machine, which we all are aware how they function. So you would have to spend some time, maybe 10, 12 recipes done through cloud will equip you enough to do it yourself with great ease. Once a recipe is perfected in DIY, you will not want to work hard on the same recipe again. You would want to save that recipe somewhere. So for that purpose, we have My Creation. We go to My Creation. There you will find 2 tabs. The blue tab says Make New Ones. I will click on the blue tab and the whole template will open up for me. Much like how the chef has written description, serving time, the serving portion, cooking time, ingredients, quantity needed, and the steps. Just the way you see recipes in cloud, in the same manner you can write your recipe in this section. And these recipes will always be on your machine. They will never go into the cloud. They will not be accessible to anybody else except you. And they are your own legacy, your own property. You could share it with anyone you like. Suppose there is a family member who is very good cook and you are used to that family member cooking, or for that matter, it's your helper who cooks and now he is going to or she is going to the village. And you still want to eat certain things which they cook. If you have fed those recipes in Chef Magic, whether the person who is doing the cooking is present or not there, you can still access their recipes and eat the same taste, get to enjoy the same taste. Now, where would you find these recipes? Whenever you want to use these recipes that you have created in My Creation, you will find it under the tab My Creation. There is another tab, My Own Recipes. When you click on My Creation, the other red tab says My Own Recipe. This is where all your recipes will get saved and you can use it from there. So this is all about the device and how it helps you cook, save time, how it helps you use cook homemade tasty meals very conveniently with minimum effort and with the luxury to have a lot of freedom of time which can be used in the way that you would like to spend it rather than spend it sweating it out in the kitchen. So enjoy your cooking with Chef Magic. If there are any kind of queries or questions that you would have, or if there is any trouble, do refer to the manual. It also has troubleshooting. It will give you a lot of idea about how the machine works. And we also have resources in terms of YouTube videos where recipes are being cooked, or YouTube videos where we are explaining some basic functions of the machine. So you will see how to use the cloud recipe firsthand through those YouTube videos, or you could also see it, the uses of Simple Chef through those videos. So all those resources are available to you. We are also on Instagram. You could go and check us out there as well. And despite all this, if you ever feel that you need more support, or you land in some kind of difficulty while cooking, you can always get in touch with us on the WhatsApp number or on the email ID that has been provided to you, and our customer care team will ensure that they reach out to you as quickly as possible. So enjoy cooking with Chef Magic. Have a good day. Thank you for your valuable time.